Hello. It is 9:02 on Facebook world. And yeah, so I decided to hop on. So y'all, I'll give y'all a moment to kind of get in, share the live. This is only like my second time using going live from my laptop. So I'm trying to get used to this. So I'm normally live from like my phones and stuff all the time. So anyway, hopefully y'all have had a fabulous Tuesday as I've already greeted Instagram. And I know some of you may be asleep, others may be trying to put the kids down. Hey, but hey, mama. But I know that I will be saving this live tonight and I will make sure to upload it to the app as well. So it'll definitely be uploaded on the app as well. So hello, y'all come on in. I don't know if y'all can hear the music, but I made sure to put that in there because sometimes Facebook be tripping. So y'all know how it go. So yes, I was giving y'all time to hop in, hop on. Look, y'all gonna get this bare face. I had some makeup on, but see what had happened was I had taken a nap. Hey Stacy. Hey Andy. Hey Jocelyn. I had a long day, so I had to take a nap. And so the makeup just had to go. So I was like, y'all just gonna get this bare face today. This is what we have. This is what we have today. So anyway, please share my live. Definitely invite others to join. You know it's gonna be a hot topic. I kind of took a break and hadn't been on as much with the intimacy, and so of course we're going to be picking back up. So if you missed the announcement, the intimacy will be available in hardcover. It's already available on pre-order right now on Amazon.com. And so on February 14th, on Valentine's Day, you will also be able to order the hard copy. So this is the hard copy of Intimacy. I'm so excited about this project. It's been absolutely amazing and probably one of my greatest to date. So definitely excited about Intimacy. And hey, Shonda, definitely excited about Intimacy and all that's going to come with it. I've worked really hard on this project. It's probably Purposeful Pain is vulnerable. Purposeful Pain is transparent. Intimacy is vulnerable because I'll be struggling with vulnerability. If you personally know me, then you know that I personally struggle with vulnerability. Transparency is so much easier because it's more so about telling your story. Shonda, please share my live. It's more about telling your story and just kind of telling people what happened. But vulnerability puts you in a whole different perspective because you have to tell people how you felt when it happened. You know what I'm saying? Like, you've got to let people into me see, and that's really tough. And so I live in intimacy right now, and it's very tough. So this body work is amazing. If you've read the blog Any, I really talk about how how I really had to learn myself and just really kind of start putting it out there, that I was ready to date again, was ready to encounter my purpose mate. And so Intimacy really helps you walk through that, because I'm really big on hey Delisa, I'm really big on being purposeful about my time and who I connect to and why I'm connecting to you and what we gonna do when I connect to you and who am I gonna be when I connect to you. Like, all of that stuff matters. And so it was really important to me in this project that I gave you guys that, because I do believe that that's the basis of connection. And so Intimacy, A Twist of Faith you want to have this in your repertoire of books, of things that you're reading, because it truly teaches you how to really learn how to effectively love a person. It's like the playbook, right? And I tell people all the time, how can you win the game if you don't know the rules of engagement? If you don't know what the rules are, how can you ever win at the game of love? It's going to be impossible. And so that's what intimacy really shows us and really teaches us, is how to really be able to get to know somebody intimately, get to know people intimately. And so with that being said, you know, make sure you copy the book if you haven't. Like I said, you can order it on Amazon. The hard copy will be out February 14th. The digital download will be out February 14th. And I'll be dropping very soon the party date for Intimacy. Yes, we're having a book release party. Like, why wouldn't I be? Y'all know how hard I be out here working? No, we gonna party. So we'll be dropping that date very soon. So please stay tuned to that, as well as it will be hot and sensual, because intimacy is. So, so you guys will get to see a completely different side of me that no one has seen. And I'm excited to share it. So we're definitely gonna hop right in. So of course, my live tonight is entitled Preparing for Your Purpose Mate. And hey, Demetrius Payne, preparing for your purpose mate. And I thought it was really important to start right here with that, with the preparation, because of course I'm in preparing season. And we all know that in order to truly be successful at anything, you have to be prepared and preparing for it before it happens. And, you know, a lot of times people really struggle with preparing, you know, for their purpose mate, because people think that, well, once this person comes, I'll get ready. And that's a terrible myth, because the truth is, real love is sacrifice. Real love is sacrifice. And so a person that is really preparing for you, they're going to sacrifice. They'll sacrifice for you. They'll sacrifice for you. And if they truly, truly, truly want to collide with you and who God has called you to be, then you'll know it by the simple fact that they're in preparation. And so, you know, in the season of me dating and trying to really figure this thing out, I'll be honest, I'm so energy sensitive in this season, and I think that everyone should be, you know, very energy sensitive about who they're connecting to, why they're connecting to this person, why are these people in their lives? Because, you know, if we haven't learned anything from the death of Kobe Bryant and the 9 people that were on the plane last week, is that we truly only have what's in between the dash of birth date and our death date. So the dash is really our time to make something of ourselves. And so if the dash is our time to make something of ourselves, it's going to be really important that we use that time so wisely, and that we don't waste our time being with people that only are trying to hold us back from becoming, that we don't waste our time being with people that really and truly are not purpose for us. You know, the worst thing you want to do is be a plug that's connected to a socket that don't work. You know, like nobody want to be connected to the plug that don't work, right? And so, you know, when we tell people we the plug and we plugged in, that means we are typically saying that we're connected to someone that has power. And so as I begin to really start thinking about, hey, Courtney, thinking about preparing for my purpose mate, you know, I really had to start. First of all, I had to heal. Let's just start there. So I had to go through purposeful pain, had to understand like my own quirks that put me in situations that God didn't design for me to remain in. And I think that that's one of the things that we don't always do, is assess ourselves really well. And I had to really take time to say the uncomfortable things to myself that I don't like to say. Hey, Keandra. Uh-oh. I had to really learn how to say those uncomfortable things to myself that I don't like to say. And so because of that, I found myself really starting to get comfortable with my uncomfortable truth. And I think that a lot of people struggle with that, you know, because this is the thing, when you get in a relationship with somebody, you've got to be able to, hey, Tiffany, you got to be able to say, like, you know, that uncomfortable stuff that you don't really like telling people. And so you kind of almost have to practice being uncomfortable with yourself first before ever really being uncomfortable with your mate or your purpose mate. And so I had to start doing that. Like, I had to start saying the things about myself that I wasn't comfortable with, like almost having, like, you know, like that bathroom time where you like talk to yourself and you really overanalyze yourself. So I had to take kind of a couple of those moments and really get myself together, because, you know, I want to be prepared this time. Like, I was, you know, the first go around, I was in that thing for 10 years. And this next time, you know, I don't want to make the same mistakes that I made in previous relationships. And I'm pretty sure that a lot of you that are on this live and that are going to listen later, you know, you don't want to make the same mistakes that you made in that last relationship all over again. You want to learn from those mistakes. And, you know, I tell people all the time, you know, I don't know who lied to us and told us that, you know, a person that just left a relationship and that just immediately comes to us that the relationship is going to be great because we're a different person. That is a lie. Okay. People that don't prepare to be with you are only prepared to waste your time. So what I mean by that is, you know, as you're dating and or even in your current marriage, you know, if you're in a relationship, you done hopped in that thing and you're trying to figure out, okay, where are we about to go from here? You need to be having these conversations about what were we doing before all of this? You know, a lot of breakdowns that I see in relationships that I coach and that I spend time with is that a lot of times we have to go back to the root of what were we doing in the beginning. So from a single perspective, for my singles, you know, when you're out dating and you're meeting these people and they're talking to you, male or female, you know, my number one question is, how long have you been single? I always want to know that, right? Does it really matter? Not necessarily, but it's leading up to the next question. So I want to know, how long have you been single? After that, I want to know, what did your healing process look like from you leaving that last relationship? And then I want to know, what would that person say about you, right? What is it that they would say about you that they would want to know, that they would complain about? Right. And so I ask these types of questions, especially on the first meeting or just phone conversation, because it's telling me, A, what work did you do on yourself? B, how self-aware are you? And then what did the other person say? Because a lot of times we'll see that we have an outlook, but then the other person has a completely different outlook, and they have a completely different idea of what happened in this relationship. And so, you know, if people, you know, depending on what they were doing in the beginning, that tells you a lot about what they're prepared to do with you. So if the conversation is, I broke up with them last week and, you know, now I'm just kind of back out here dating, okay, they're about to waste your time. They're about to waste your time, because the truth is they don't even want to sit with their own truth, because they didn't even take time to figure out, like, what they did wrong. You know what I'm saying? Like, they didn't even assess their own selves. So if they didn't assess their own selves and they didn't even take time to inventory their own selves and heal from that trauma before they came to you, then clearly they're going to bring you the same trauma from their last relationship. I don't want that. I don't want the trauma from your last relationship to come to this relationship, and now I'm dealing with y'all's issue that I didn't even create, right? You know, so because people oftentimes will use you as a band-aid if you let them. And so you have to be aware and leery of that, because, you know, are you here so that I can be your band-aid, or did you already stitch that up? Because I'm not here to be anybody's band-aid, right? And so those are the types of things that you want to know. And then you also want to ask them, what is their purpose? Because that lets you know too, like, what did they really figure out why they were here? You know, I tell people all the time, especially for men, you know, men are so big on like making money. They're so big on careers. They're so big on titles that a lot of times they're not big on purpose. And so what you'll find is that passion is like a candle, right? A candle burns out after a while. I need to know what your purpose is, because your purpose is not going to burn out. It's like, you know, it's like Jesus, you know, like, you know, when he quenched your thirst, is quenched forever. That's purpose. When you know why you are here, why you exist, you never again question why you here and why you exist. And so why, you know, if somebody doesn't know their purpose, then how do you know if they're purposely aligned to be with you? Like, how do you know if they are supposed to be an assignment or if they are assigned to you if they don't know their purpose? I tell women all the time, you know, if a man don't know his purpose, then how do you know, you know, if you hiring right? Like, if you don't know your purpose as a woman, then how do you know if you're hiring right for the job? If you are a clinic, right? A counseling clinic, then you don't need to check your resumes that you choosing from. Don't need to be somebody who got restaurant business experience. That ain't got anything to do with counseling. You're looking for somebody with counseling hours and hours in life coaching or a degree in psychology. And so oftentimes what we'll do is we won't know our purpose, and so we get out there hoping to just bump into it. But the enemy doesn't want you to bump into your purpose, because if you bump into your purpose, you'll collide with your destiny, which then you're going to reproduce something. See, it's going to be a whole issue for him. He ain't got time for that. So what he going to make you do? He wants you to bump into what you'll like. He wants you to bump into that microwave blessing versus you waiting on your crock pot miracle. And so what you'll do is you'll prematurely hop off into something that really and truly was never designed to fulfill you. You know, a McDonald's burger and a roast don't fulfill you the same. You stop at McDonald's, you'll go ahead and eat there real quick, but 2 hours later you starving hungry. But you get you a roast with some potatoes, you go to bed fulfilled. You ain't hungry, you are stuffed. You ever went by a fast food restaurant and was like, oh, I'm stuffed after you ate it? No. Most of us get sick after we eat it, right? Because it was rushed through, it's processed. And so that's the same thing even with our purposes. And so you want to make sure that as you're preparing for your purpose, mate, that you first have figured out what is your purpose, right? Why are you here? So that way you know exactly when you interviewing what you're looking for. And then also when you're talking to that person, okay, so sir, man, what have you been doing while you were preparing? Because what kills me with people is the people that think like they just gonna be a thought until they find the one. So you're not prepared for me. You know, the worst thing a person can do is beg God for a blessing that when it show up, they're not even ready for it. And I tell people all the time, you have to prepare in your off season. So for my football fans, or people who've played sports, period, know anything about a sport, how many people do you see on the sideline during the game doing push-ups? Just in the middle of the game. Have y'all just seen LeBron on the sideline doing jumping jacks and running back and down the court, getting his heart rate up before, like during the game? Have you seen Drew Brees out there with some weights, lifting weights in the middle of the game? No, you should have been preparing in your off season. The worst thing you can do is show up for the game ill-prepared to play. How are you going to show up? It's third quarter and you talking about let me get a protein drink. No, sir. If you was going to get your weight up, you should have got your weight up in the off season. You should have got your weight up in July, in June. We weren't playing the game. That's when you should be curbing your appetite. That's when you should be cutting off those people that can't go with you. That's when you should be really figuring out, okay, God, who are you calling me to be? You know, for me, I had to completely go celibate, right? And really clear out all of those soul ties. You know, people that meant me no good, whether it was, you know, just texting people that meant me no good, spending time with somebody who meant me no good, like the whole thing just had to go. Because what I understand about where I'm headed is that it's going to take commitment. It's going to take sacrifice. It's going to take discipline. It takes everything that the gym takes, basically, right? And if it takes everything that it takes to go to the gym, to be in a relationship, then that means that's not something that you can just luck up on. You know what I'm saying? You can't just run up on the gym. You know, you can't just run up on a 5K, yeah, and be like, oh, I'm gonna run a 5K, but you ain't been running all year. Like, I'm sick of you. You have not ran all year, baby. You think you gonna just run a 5K? You're not. You may walk it and you're gonna be tired, but you're not about to run it. You haven't been practicing. You haven't trained your body. You haven't disciplined yourself. And so what we find is people that get in these relationships thinking, okay, now I'm about to change because I done got with her, I done got with him. But the enemy don't want somebody that you know, don't have anything to lose. Okay. So everybody knows when you get in a relationship and y'all go public, everybody and their grandma used to, coulda, shoulda, everybody loved you. And you like, sir, when I wanted to give you my time, when I was begging, when I was trying to hand you my time, you didn't want nothing to do with me. Now, how all of a sudden, all you've been thinking about is me? Sir, I haven't talked to you in over a year. You haven't been thinking about me. Quit lying. Everybody comes out the woodwork when you get somebody. Men the same way. Every woman, I just been, you know, I was just thinking about you. I see you in a relationship. Well, if you saw us in a relationship, why are you in my inbox? You wasn't worried about me when I was single. You weren't worried about me 6 months ago when I didn't have anybody. Now I got somebody and I'm looking happy. Here you coming trying to ruin my life. I'm not here. I'm sick of you. I'm not here for that. And that's what people would do. And so if you have not already in your off season prepared yourself for the distractions that are going to come when you get into relationship, then what you will find is that you will get into a relationship and then you're going to trip over your ego and fall back into the same trap, because the enemy is hoping that you have not trained yourself at all, right? So that, hey, big head will get you off track again. Looking eyes in your DM will get you off track again. The waving hands will get you off track again. And so that's what he's hoping, because if you have not disciplined yourself and curved yourself off of those types of sweets, you'll get a cavity. Okay? You'll get a cavity, because that's when people want to show up. Nobody worried about you when you don't have anybody, but everybody worried about you when you're not texting them back. Everybody worried about you when you're not worried about them anymore. Everybody's concerned about you when you are no longer concerned about them. But when you were concerned about them, they didn't want nothing to do with you. They wasn't worried about you. They weren't trying to take you out on no date. They weren't trying to see how your day was. But now that you got a man, or now that you got a good woman, now they want to know stuff. Now you don't want to know anything but how to ruin my life. And so you have to always be conscious of that. And so, you know, if you're preparing for something real, then why play with something that you know is fake? See, for me, the reason I'm not just, you know, people ask me, are you dating? I don't believe in just multiple dating personally. I believe in purpose dating. Because first of all, I'm favor. Let's just start there. So we'll go down the rabbit hole of wife and women. Let's break that down. First of all, we first need to understand, are you a wife or are you a woman? So for men that are on this live and that will listen to this later, the word of God says that a man that findeth a wife findeth a good thing and will find favor with the Lord. The reason that the word of God said a wife, and he didn't say a woman, he didn't say a female, is because there's a very clear difference in line. Okay. A woman comes into a man's life to make him better. A wife comes into a man's life and gives him favor, right? So if I am the favor, That means when someone does you a favor, that means it's adding to you, right? That means there's some type of addition that's taken place in your life when this person comes into your life. And so for the men, you know, if I'm in your life and I'm not adding to you, then I'm subtracting from you. And there is a difference between a woman that is a wife and that is just a female. A wife is somebody that is going to help push you closer to your destiny and to your purpose in God. They're not going to be subtracting from you. So if you get with a female and you notice everything you touch starts to crumble, she's probably not a wife. Because she's adding sorrow, right? She's not adding production, she's adding sorrow. A wife adds production. And you see it in everything that you touch. You see it in everything that you do. You see it in everything that you become. That a woman, that a wife that comes into your life, you instantly see it's like exponential growth. It's like you start seeing your bank account increase. You start seeing your credit score go up. You start seeing your consistency get there, your discipline get there. Like there's things about you that truly changes when she comes into your life. Because see, when Christ comes into your life, you are a new creature and old things have passed away. So when a wife comes into your life, it's almost like God coming into your life, right? Because he tells us that you should love her like Christ loves the church. Because what he is trying to show you is that is how productive she is that when a wife comes into your life, you really are never, ever, ever the same. So that means this woman is set apart. And so if you've been following my hashtags, you've noticed that I've been hashtagging ducks walk and eagles soar. There ain't that many. There ain't just a whole lot of wives walking around. There are a whole lot of women walking around, and half of them don't know who they are, and the other half praying you don't know who you are. And so that you just do quack, quack, and walk around with them and stay lost and wait on somebody to feed you and, all this kind of stuff. So our kings, to my men that will listen to this, listen to me. You want a woman that is already self-disciplined. Who wants to get with a person who already lacks discipline? But they want to be a wife. Ma'am, you don't want to be a wife if you're at the club every night. You don't want to be a wife. You don't have that aspiration to want to build if you're continuously tearing down yourself. And for women, you don't have to chase a man. I want you all to hear me. Women, you are favor. Act like it. You are favor. You don't have to chase and compete for a man, because he's gonna grow when he finds you. The word of God does not say that a wife that finds a husband finds a good thing and finds favor with the Lord, because he's already made us favor. He put favor in us. A wife is a character trait, not a title given by a man that we're with. I tell people, men all the time, I don't know if some of you saw this, but I put this on my Insta story this past week, that when someone says, I'm going to marry you one day and make you my wife, or you're going to be my wife, I cringe. I do. Because first of all, I was already a wife. I didn't need you to make me a wife. The wife is in my DNA, sir. When I came out of my mother's womb, I was a wife. I was a wife. He put that in me already. So you giving me your last name does not make me a wife. It makes me your wife, not a wife. Okay. And so I need women to understand that you are already everything that you need, that needs to be in you to make you equipped to be a good purpose made. God put in you when he put it in your DNA. So you don't have to compete where you don't compare. You don't. I tell people all the time. I have said to guys, I think you should date other women, so you'll have something to compare me to. So when I say that I am the greatest, that we're not arguing over my greatness. Go date. Please date, so that way you can see. Go compare me to something. Compare me to your last 5 relationships that didn't work out. I don't compare it, right? There's no comparing. And it's not an arrogance, it's just a confidence that I know what I carry. And see, the strongest and most powerful thing that a woman can do is know what she carries. And because that's the whole idea of the enemy. He never wants you to know what you carry. He never wants you to know who you are in Christ. Because if you know who you are in Christ, you'll expect more and you'll demand more. I released a quote this week that said that when a woman raises up, a man will rise up. Because when we raise our standards, then men will rise up into their kingship. But as long as we are selecting and taking anything that a person throws at us as if we were ducks, instead of being eagles that soar down and can get our own, we'll settle. And in this season, God is not calling us to settle, man or female. But a lot of times we'll do that. And so what we'll find is that we will negotiate who God has called us to be chosen, and then be mad at the compensation that comes from the negotiation. That's why you never negotiate who God has called you to be. So if you already know your purpose and you are already walking in your purpose, then you're not spending your time trying to negotiate. You, like Tesla, not negotiating with you. They said what they said. Christian Louboutin is not negotiating with you with their prices. They said what they said. If they said them shoes are $1,100, that's exactly what they meant. And they're not negotiating with you. And so as women of God and as men of God, we should not negotiate with our gifts. We should not negotiate with who we are. I've had people say to me, I've had even men say to me, Lauren, I don't know a man that would be able to be with a woman that's celibate. I said, well, I'm not looking for men to be with. I'm looking for the man. I'm not looking for one. And I'm not really looking for him. He's looking for me. Because the truth is this, if I'm able to withhold myself and to be intimacy and get to know who God has called you to be before I hop in the bed with you, then that should already let you know what level of caliber of woman I am. A lot of the trust issues kill out whenever you show someone that you're disciplined. So for people that have issues with the alpha female, now we're going to touch on this, but I'm going to really touch on this in my next slide that I'll do in 2 weeks about the alpha female. The alpha female most times are women that are disciplined. Why would you want to be in a relationship or in a marriage, enter into a marriage with a person that lacks discipline? That means that the Bible talks about people that are double-minded. People that have double minds are wayward in all of their ways, which means they can't make a decision. And an alpha female will only submit to a man that she trusts. So if you have an issue with the woman that you're with submitting to you, is because she does not trust you. And so why would you want to be with a woman be with a woman that you can't trust? Because if you can sleep with her like that, somebody else can too. Somebody else can too. So at the end of the day, why don't you want a woman that makes you rise up instead of lay down? You should, if a woman is not challenging you, if the woman in your life is not challenging you to be better, she don't care about you. Period. Women, your friends, if they are not, I don't care what relationship it is, if people are not challenging you to be better, then they don't care about you. And so if you're truly preparing for your purpose, mate, then you are already getting your house in order and you're cleaning up things that cannot be in your house when the new stuff comes. It's no different from us getting new furniture. How many of y'all got a new couch but kept your old couch? No, nobody does that. You clear out the old couch. Then you sweep the floor up. You sweep all the dirt and trash and fell through the couch. And then the new couch comes and we enjoy the new one. No one keeps the old couch and the new couch. And so that's the same thing in relationships. You can't keep the last broken man and ask God to see you a healed and whole prophet, priest, and king. He not going to do that. He's not going to do that. And so we find ourselves oftentimes ill prepared and upset. And so for women, I want you to be encouraged that you don't have to be concerned about is God going to send it? Know that God is. And so your prayer should be a lot like mine that says, God, just prepare me for what you're sending my way. Prepare me for what you're sending, because I don't want to be ill prepared. See, I'm not concerned that you're going to send it, because you already told me that you know the thoughts that you have for me. So that means you know the plans that you have. It's already written out. It was already, my end was foretold in the beginning. So you know what's coming, but don't let it come and I'm not ready. You know what I'm saying? Don't do that to me. So God, help me be prepared. Let me clear up these areas of my heart that are under construction beforehand, and help me to be able to beat out those plights that the enemy is going to try to use to keep me in bondage, because the enemy is going to send people that you like, or that used to you could use to get you off track into your life. He's going to send those people because he wants you to fall for that person, so you can't stand for the right person. The right person won't see you because you done already fell down for that food. They won't see you. You're gonna be on the ground. And so that's what the enemy is hoping, is that you fall through, so that way what God has for you never comes. And so for women, know that you don't have to negotiate your value. Your price is your price. Set it and pay attention. My girlfriend Angie says this all the time, and it's so true. When a man talks, listen. Men don't talk a lot. So it's very important to listen when they talk, because that's when you get to hear if they lying to you or not. Okay. So I tell people all the time, relationships move at the speed of trust. And so I'm constantly listening very attentively about what you're saying and what you're doing and who you say you're becoming, because I can't just lay my bags down anywhere. I'm definitely an alpha female, but I'm also an alpha female that desires to submit to a man that I trust. But I'm not giving a king's title to a peasant. Okay, so that means like anybody can't just come and get this. Hey Kim, just know anybody can't come and sit up over here. So when people are like, are you out dating? No, we're gonna talk on the phone first for a while, because you're not about to just see me out with no anybody. I don't play that. My name is too great. My presence is too great for me to just be seen with a clown. And if I'm gonna be into me, see, that only takes a conversation. I can know from talking to you, right? You hear the matters of the heart through the mouth. So what you thinking and who you are, I can hear that just from being in conversation with you. And so I can already know before we even go that further, well, I'm about to waste my time, or you aligned to my purpose. Because that's so important. And for women, I want you to be selective. Men, be selective as well about who you give that type of title to come into your life, because that is a heavyweight title. You think about when companies look for a CEO. When a company looks for a CEO, they take time. Sometimes they take years before they hire somebody for a certain position, because and they put together all kind of committees, and they go through several moments of meetings, because they realize that you being the head of this organization can either grow it or kill it really fast. And so they want to have multiple interactions with you, right? And so for us, that's what we should look for. You shouldn't want your first interaction to be the bedroom. If the first thing a man want to do is come over to your house, and he don't want to be about, he not trying to do nothing but come over there, waste your time, use up your electricity, and get on your nerves. He not coming to do nothing. He not come. People who just always, all they can do is see you in the background and let's go to the dimly lit. They're still playing games. And please understand this. Everybody's attracted to oil. And so I tell people all the time, especially in what I do and in who I am, people are attracted to your oil. The enemy is attracted to your oil. You ever saw somebody trying to rob the homeless? There's not a lot of people that's just trying to rob the homeless. You don't really hear about, most robbers that y'all hear on TV is not about robbing the homeless. Now the homeless may try to rob you. Why? Because you got something they want. they don't have anything that you want. They're on the street. And so that's how the enemy is. He wants to rob you of your peace and your joy and your happiness and your purpose, most importantly. And so you have to be very leery about who you give your time to, because that's something that you cannot get back. And so it's so important that you spend time realizing and praying and really being a great listener to if this person is assigned to you or an assignment for you to point them to God. Some people are just an assignment for you to GPS them to Jesus. You know, you just the hotel on their way to the final destination that they stopped at. You're not the final destination. And I have to pray that prayer often, because I'm in a season of discernment, and I'm like, okay, God, I don't want to cast my pearls on swine. And so, you know, I'm going to do a live about being celibate. I'll say this, though. The greatest thing that I have learned about me being celibate is that it really sets the bar on if somebody is wanting to be intimacy or sleep with me. You know, when people realize that that's just standard, they automatically either they're like, they bow out gracefully, right? Because they really only came to waste your time anyway. Or they try to think that because you're celibate, that means that's an invitation for them to try to break you down. They automatically think like that's some invitation to try to break you down. I don't know why men think that. And so I have found in my season of celibacy, I am extremely clear mentally. My discernment is extremely high. I also find that it cuts out, it separates the men from the boys. Because at the end of the day, now I'm trying to figure out, are you, like, what you here for now? We done took that off the table. And I tell people, you know, some men are like, I don't know how you do it, you know, and I talk to men, women, so I have this conversation often about it. And it's so funny how people look at it and they're just like, I don't know how you doing it, because I'm preparing for something. See, let me help you understand. Sis not out here trying to figure out if her game is good or not, okay? I already know it is. So since I already know that, I don't have to lead with that. I don't have to, you know, we ain't got to argue that. Now, what we do need to argue and figure out is, you know, why you here? Because I'm more than just a sexual object. And women have to realize that. And I would, and even men should be selective. If a woman just want to be with you to sleep with you, then she's just there to use you, sir. She doesn't want anything. And you know, she likes that song, you know, the thrill is gone away. That's what they be there for, right? Just a thrill. They're not there to be intimacy. They're not there to help build an empire. They're not there to build generational wealth or purpose or anything of that sort. They're just there to waste your time. And so when you have that barrier up, when you put that guard up, it's like that's when people are like, oh, she's serious. Mm-hmm. I am. I'm selective with who I share me with, because I respect me that much. I'm not about to lay down with, mama say you lay down with dogs, you get fleas. I ain't got time for that, sir. I'm on a mission. I don't have time to fall into your trap, because what happens is when we decide that we're going to sleep with somebody, sometimes that overtakes our ability to see past the BS. And so then they can pretend to be somebody that they're not. We make things up in our heads and put them on this pedestal that they truly are not on, because the sex is good. You know, some men, speaking from a woman, some men will keep around longer because it's good. You know what I'm saying? And, you know, we keep you around longer than what we really should have. And the truth was, all you did was keep us stagnant. And so we give you 6 months to a year, and we didn't move anywhere. We done lost more than what we gained. We done lost our edges because you done stressed us out, and we ain't got nothing. And see, my thing is this, and I shared this the other day with someone, I can't remember who, but I was sharing, and I said, a person that truly loves you will never ask you to reduce your value so they can afford you. And so, you know, So at the end of the day, um, if someone is asking you to reduce your value in order for them to afford you, then they don't want that, because a man is a hunter. A man natural ability is to be able to come in and work for the woman that he wants. And so if he's not willing to work for you and work with you to see if y'all's purposes truly do align, and that when you come together it equates to something greater, then he wasn't there to do much of anything. And oh, I see, Andy, you asked, how do women discern who to give an opportunity to or access to? Oh, you can discern that. That's why phone conversations are so amazing. Number one, first of all, like I said I don't know if you caught this, Andy, but it goes in that first line of questioning, right? So first line of questioning, about the relationship, your healing, your purpose. I have to know my purpose. So I know that I'm called to men and women to help them not only find their purpose, but reach their purpose in God. I'm a coach. I'm a midwife. That's what I tell people. And so I am designed to do that, right? I'm designed to do that. So that means that the man that God has for me has to be a man of faith already, has to be a man that already has a prayer life with God, has to be a man that believes in wanting to change the outlook on relationships and marriages, that want to impact our generation as far as healing is concerned, because that's what I'm called to do. And so when you think about that, a person that's called to do something completely different from that, maybe something in the music industry, that may not really be the best for me. If you called to do something with R&B, but I'm not called to do that, or if you don't even know your purpose at all, that may be a whole nother issue, and so conversation, us talking, is how you discern. And outside of just talking, listening, listening to people, and looking at their motives. Who a person is, they'll show you eventually. Who a person is, they will show you eventually. And so that's why it's so important, before we just hop into a situation and just say, oh yeah, we should be together, that we really take the time out to figure out, when we come together, what does it add? You will know if you're in the presence of the right person, if that's your purpose, if that person is assigned to your purpose, because first of all, they stretch you to be higher than where you are. They challenge you, right? To be higher than where you are. Then when the two of you come together, y'all are greater. And so if 1 + 1 = 2, that means that when we come together, we're greater than what we are as singulars. So if we're not greater together and we don't reproduce something else greater, then that means we're not aligned. You know what I'm saying? Like, if I stop praying when you come into my life, you're not signing my purpose. If I stop going to church because you came into my life, if you ask me to stop going to church because you came into my life, well, you're not assigned to me. You're not assigned to me. You're not assigned to me. You may be an assignment for me to show you the love of Christ, but you're not assigned to my purpose, sir, because you can't lead me and not know God. Like, you can't. And those are the things that we should be looking for as we're talking about entering to relationships with our purpose mate. When we come together, when we come together, do I get excited about my purpose in God? Does it make me that much more excited about my purpose in God? Hey, Instagram family, does it make me more excited? If I don't get excited, if I can't share my purpose with you and us both equally get excited about what I'm doing for God, you're not assigned to me. You're an assignment for me to show you Christ, for me to maybe help you get there, like a midwife, like, breathe, but you're not mine. And so that's how if I have to not tell you that I have a gift of prophecy and that I also have a healing gift and I'm afraid to talk to you about that, you're probably not assigned to me. And a woman knows if you're assigned to her first and foremost, because for women, we look for safety. Women love to feel safe. And that's our thing. Men, especially Black men, fuss a lot about Black women not being vulnerable and us not allowing you guys to be the head and us not being submissive. And we get the rap that we don't want to be submissive, which is an absolute lie. We do want to be submissive, but we want to submit to men that we feel safe with and that we trust. And so in order to do that, we need that. We need to know that we're safe here. We're safe to put our bags down and say, this hurt me, that, I went through this, that I'm not judged by you, by the decisions that I had to make or that I made to get to the level of purpose that I'm at. I got to feel safe sharing with you that uncomfortable truth. And if I don't feel safe to get vulnerable with you, I will never submit to you because I do not trust you. And that is what we don't like to talk about. We like to pretend and hide behind, other things. Oh, y'all just angry. No, we're not angry. We just don't trust you because you had lied last time. We don't trust you because you make impulsive decisions. I was sharing earlier with a girlfriend. I said, I can't be with somebody that makes impulsive decisions. But for me, being an alpha female, I have to have somebody, the head of my kingdom, quote unquote, my king. He's gonna have to be somebody that I know thinks things through and seeks God first. Like, if you come to me and be like, baby, we about to just move to Florida, I'm gonna be like, okay, did you pray about it? If you like, nah, I ain't prayed about it, I can't just be with people who don't pray about stuff first. I can't, because my purpose is bigger than me. And I don't get to live my life like other people who like aimlessly walk around and don't know why they're here in the first place. And they just hoping that wherever the wind blows is the right place. And so they just hope. I can't live. You can't lead me, sir. If you want to hope, you can't. I'm a hope you know that you can't lead me. Okay. If you're on a hope, I hope you know that you're not about to lead me no doggone well. Because I'm not going to follow you. I'm not going to follow you. I have to know that you submitted to God first, because, you have to know that you're here for something greater than just yourself and your ego. And so that's why knowing your purpose and realizing if our purposes are aligned is so important, because if you make me move too quick, I may move so fast following you that I leave a life behind that needed my becoming. So what am I saying? Is that I can't just follow somebody that's not following God, because God is a God of order, which means he's a God of timing. So if he's a God of timing, I don't need to move out of time and out of rhythm with him, because someone's life is depending on who he's called me to be. Because as Christians, we are the hands, feet, and eyes of God. How do people come to know him? Is through the way that we treat them, because we say that we are Christians, that we are Christ-like. So their first encounter of him is through his people, his children. That would be me, that would be you. And so we have to be very intentional about the way we move and the way we have our being and the way we do things, because we are not here to please ourselves. We are here to please God and enjoy the fruits of our labor of which he has given us. We only enjoy life when we are walking in who he's designed us to be. But when we are aimlessly walking around with no direction, hoping that we fall up on something, then most times we are unhappy people, because we are lost and blinded. And what we're doing, we sampling stuff, praying that it fulfills us, and then it doesn't. That's what we're doing. And so that's why preparing for our purpose mate is so important. It's so important that we're taking time to learn ourselves. If you are a person that is afraid to be alone, you need to be alone. Because first of all, if you with God, you're never alone. He talk all the time. You try it. Your first intimate relationship should be with him. Your first intimate relationship should be with God. And from there, because if you can't love yourself and have that intimate relationship with God first, you'll never be able to have it with man, ever. You'll never be able to share it with another human if you can't have it with him first. And so that's a part of preparation, is isolation. Isolation is a part of preparation, because he has to kill off and detox those things in you, in your body, that weigh you down, that don't build up your immune system. He got to remove all them toxins out your body, that those lies you told yourself, I'm fat, I'm ugly, nobody gonna ever want me, all the word curses that you allowed to attach to you. He got to take them insecurities off, so that way when you get out there, you know, you ain't walking around insecure and being weighted down and thinking every man that's coming around you don't want nothing but to waste your time. He's trying to sing you a king, but you talking to a peasant. See, he got to do all that. And when you spend your time with him, he gets all that off you. And so then when people come to you, you know, you're not just falling for the okie doke all the time. You're not out here always, you know, falling for frou-frou and them, who ain't want nothing. He ain't want nothing last year. He still don't want nothing this year. You know, people who, I'm just checking on you. Why? Why are you just checking on me? I was doing the same. I'm fine. I'm fine. So, you know, people not just checking on you, they're just checking to see if they have access to use you, right? They're not checking on you. And so for us, it's important that we get very clear about who God has called us to be, who we want to be in God, and when we connect to this person, what does it do? See, for me being married again, because I will be married again, is not about me not being alone. Because honestly, I actually prefer being single. It's a lot easier. It's less stress, less headache. I don't really have to consult you. You know what I'm saying? It's just really easier, to be honest with you. But who God has called me to be, I cannot impact the other half of what he's wanting me to impact without him giving me my covering and my purpose mate. And so I'm not wanting to connect because I'm lonely. No, I'm wanting to connect because I need to reproduce for God's glory, not for my own. You know what I'm saying? And so when you begin to move like that, you get very selective and very intentional about who you allow in your space, who you allow in your corner, and who you allow to be the prophet, priest, and king and covering for your life. And so that's, you know, those things are extremely important, that you are selective about that. And that the reason, and understand your reason of why you're with somebody and why you're connected to somebody. I don't want to be just connected to you off of GP. You know, I want to be connected to you because I know that when I connect to you, what's going to happen for the body of Christ. And so that's how you guys should be as well, men alike. You know, let me tell you something. A man that finds a wife, and a real wife, if you've ever, a man that's ever really encountered a wife, I promise you, that man is a blessed man. He is blessed and highly favored. He wake up every single day thanking God that this day is still here, because it's nothing like connecting to a person that speaks your love language. Nothing like it. And especially when they speak your God language. You know, when they speak your purpose language, that stuff's so sensual, baby. You just be like, let me just submit, because that's just, it's sexy. Submission is so sexy and sensual when you're doing it in the right context with the right person who aligns with your purpose. And so, you know, that's why it's just super, super important in this season that we're very selective with who enters us, who enters our space, who enters our time, who enters our bodies, because that person can either stop you or propel you closer to God. And the worst thing that you want to do is be sitting up there with the zero and the hero standing over there. You know, you're like, well, I'm even sitting with you, sir. I knew you was gonna waste my time. You know, I don't want to do that. I don't want to do that. And men alike, you know, men, we want you to be able to connect to the wifely women. So that way y'all can stop complaining about the other half of us who pretending to be wives. You know, alpha females get such a bad rap because you met so many that's pretending to be one that's not really one. They was just broken. but they didn't, you know, you didn't know, they didn't know, and they calling themselves something, and what they calling themselves you don't like. And so now you're not liking a whole slew of women, but that's not us. This person wasn't even real, you know what I'm saying? And so those things are just super, super, super important. And so in preparing, and I'll leave you guys with this tonight, in preparing for your purpose mate, make sure that you know your purpose first. Make sure that you know your purpose first, so that way you don't connect to a dud that don't know their purpose, and the person there that's only there to waste your time. And always think higher than yourself. You know, this is bigger than you. If you connect with this person and y'all have a child and y'all both broken, y'all just gave the world some broken kids. Thank you. Now we can begin healing what you broke. Thank you. We couldn't do without that. That's what you did for us, right? And we want to change that. We want to change that narrative, and we want to really get whole, healthy kids out there. Okay, I'm going to answer this last question before I hop off. Demetrius Payne says, do you think in your time of preparation, God will give you a glimpse of your purpose made through someone else, or if you're seeing that? Yes, I do think that he will, Demetrius. I do believe that God will, he will give you a glimpse. I mean, this is the last thing I'll say before I hop off. I have been journaling to my purpose mate. And as I have been journaling to my purpose mate, I have been writing and really telling God what it is that I want. Telling him what I want and praying that it lines up with his desires for my life, right? Because the first thing, I don't want anything that's not aligned and assigned to my purpose. But secondly, I want to make sure that whoever that person is, that he has all of the qualities that I'm going to need to advance God's kingdom. And so, I write my vision, of what it is that I believe that I'm going to need. And I do believe that sometimes you can see glimpses of it in other people, like, oh, that would be good. But this is the thing. Sometimes we sign up for glimpses that we shouldn't sign up for. Sometimes we make seasons personally, like permanent decisions, and that's not really good. You know what I'm saying? And so this is the prayer that I pray. God, show me if this person is assigned to my life or an assignment for you. That's how I discern that. In now that I am in my season to collide into my purpose mate, is for God to show me that. And I do believe that he's going to show me that. And I've had moments here, even very recently, that I've met people that make my purpose baby leap, that get me excited, and we can talk about my purpose, and we can talk about my future plans, and we can talk about what I'm working on right now, and I get super, super, super charged and excited about it. And so I have gotten to that point where I'm seeing it, but then I'll see something else show up, and I'm like, oh no, that's okay. That's not an assignment. I mean, it's not assigned, but it's an assignment. Okay, God, I got it, right? And I kind of get myself back into place, because this is what I won't do. I won't settle again. I won't settle again. And so, because I refuse to settle, if God is not the first head of his life, meaning the man, then I already know that you can't be the head in my life. If God's not the head in your life, because I'm not going to submit to a man that doesn't submit to God first. So if I'm trying to coerce you to submit to God, I already know, nah, you ain't for me, dog. I need you to already come with it on your mind that as for me and my house, we gonna serve the Lord. And so if you ain't came with that Joshua spirit beforehand, I can't plant it in you. Not for you to be assigned to me, not for your girl. Okay. So that's what I look for. He has to be able, I have to have a man that submits to God first. And and then I know if I can submit to him. But if he does not have those things, those non-negotiables first and foremost, meaning a relationship with God, a man that is available mentally, physically, and emotionally. If he is not available mental, physically, and emotionally, then we're not gonna be able to do it. And if he is a man that is also just kind of funneling through women and he's making impulsive decisions, right, and just hopping into relationships or you know, wanting to hurry up and hop into a sexual relationship, then I know that that's not a person that is assigned to me. And so, you know, I respect the microwave mentality, but I know I'm a crock pot miracle. So because I know that I'm a crock pot miracle, I can't give myself to a microwave mindset, because just as quickly as you warm me up, I'll go cold. So, you know, I can't do that. It's bigger than me. I'm writing a story bigger than me. So that is my season of preparation. Now y'all know what I'm working on, but I pray that you were blessed. Make sure that you get intimacy. I talk about it, I document, and I actually lived intimacy, quiet as kept. So it is a real life story of me having an intimacy encounter for men and women. So there's men's section and there is a women's section in here as well. So please make sure you get the copy of the book on Amazon. And I can't wait to continue sharing. So please share my live. I pray that this blessed you and helped you. And I cannot wait, because following Tuesday, I will be discussing the power of the alpha female. We're going to talk about the myths of the alpha female, darling, because I'm about to help y'all get your life. So be ready, be ready. Drop your comments. If you got questions, inbox me. Concerns, inbox me. I'm definitely here for it all. So I pray that this live bless you all tonight. So talk to you soon on purpose.